Good morning, I'm Zaira and she's Naia. We are from 4th ESO and we are going to talk about a very important scientist. But before that, we want to ask you a question. Can you think about any famous scientists? Well, you probably thought about Einstein, Darwin, Newton, Thomson, but have you thought about any female one? We don't usually study or hear about many female scientists, but that doesn't mean they don't do important discoveries. So today we want to introduce you to Emmy Noether.
Biography. She was born in Germany on the 23rd of March of 1882. She died on the 14th of April of 1935. She made important contributions to abstract algebra and mathematical physics. She discovered Noether's theorem.
Early life. Her first name was Amelie, but she started using her middle name Emmy at a young age. When she was little, she didn't stand out in class, but she was known for being clever. She was taught to clean, cook, and play the piano, but she didn't like any of those. She only enjoyed dancing. She was also the first of 4 children. On the right, there's a picture of Emmy with her 3 brothers. The eldest, Alfred, who received a doctorate in chemistry but died 9 years after. Fritz, who studied applied mathematics. And the youngest, Gustav, whose there isn't much information about as he died from a chronic illness.
University life. She studied at Erlangen University, but she was only allowed to audit classes instead of fully participating. Despite these obstacles, on the 14th of July of 1903, she passed the exam to graduate in Realgymnasium. After 1 year, she decided to focus on maths, so she returned to Erlangen where she wrote her first article.
Teaching period. She taught at the University of Erlangen for 7 years, in which she never got paid. She occasionally substituted her father, who was a teacher, but only when he was too ill to give classes. In 1915, she was invited by David Hilbert and Felix Klein to the University of Göttingen, but the other people there didn't let her teach, so she only gave a few lessons after Hilbert's name, and all of this without ever getting paid yet. During that time, she created Noether's theorem, which was presented by one of her friends to a meeting of the Royal Society of Sciences, because she thought she would not be taken seriously.
Refuge at Brynmore and Princeton. When the Nazis arrived in Germany, Emmy had to flee to the United States, since she was Jewish. There she worked with a small group of people through B.L. van der Waerden's 1930 book Modern Algebra First. In 1934, Noether began lecturing at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton. She also worked with and supervised Abraham Albert and Harry van Driver. Abstract algebra. She started working in algebra in 1920 when she published an article on the theory of ideals in which she defined the ideals of left and right in a ring. The next year she published another article called Noetherian Ring, which was qualified as revolutionary by an algebraist called Irving Kaplansky. In 1924, she kept working with B.L. van der Waerden in her university.
Her contribution to theory of relativity. When she moved to the United States, she met Albert Einstein. Her research on her own theorem was necessary to understand and create the theory of relativity. In fact, Einstein wrote a letter addressed to her after she had died that was published in the New York Times. It is quite long, so we're not going to read it, but I wanted to highlight a sentence that says, "The most significant creative mathematical genius thus far produced since the higher education of women began." As you can see, Einstein really appreciated her.
So, this is the end of our presentation, but we want to encourage all of you to read about female scientists, because without them, the world wouldn't be as we know it nowadays.